Hello everyone, welcome to day 18. So only 12 days left after today. Hope you've all been well and still enjoying it. Today we are going to do some nice wide-legged poses. Some on the floor, some stood up. So just opening up the bottom half of the body, feeling that nice stretch. But as always, we'll start off just centering ourselves. So again, taking that comfortable seat, whatever feels good for you, even standing, lying down on your back. And we're just going to take just the first few moments of our practice together, just to close our eyes if it's comfortable, or to look at a point just on the floor in front of us. We're going to tune into that lovely life breath. Maybe placing your hands on either side of the rib cage. And just moving that breath, feeling that breath as it moves through the body. If you're breathing through the tip of your nose, just noticing how it feels when it comes in as you draw that breath in. And equally how it feels as you exhale. And the option is to maybe just think of one thing that you're grateful for in your life. We're just going to allow that gratitude to filter throughout the body. When you're ready, dropping the chin towards the chest. And if you had your eyes closed, just blinking them open, just to a point in front. Before slowly lifting the chin and taking in the rest of the room. So we're going to start off on our bums. I'm doing my usual and I forgot to take my socks off. So I'm going to take my socks off and we'll meet on the mat. Like I say, if you come to the widest part of the mat, like I was set up with mine, and we're just going to sit down in the middle. Either legs crossed, legs out in front with a nice slight bend, or you can even come onto the knees and just rest those sit bones all the way down. So just picking an option that feels good for you today, and we're just going to start warming up the body. So we're going to start off with some shoulder rugs. So on the inhale, we're going to draw those shoulders forward and up, and the exhale, roll them back and down. So inhale, forward and up, and exhale, back and down. I'm going to do 2 more times. And then when I come to rest, we're just going to pause because now we're going to send the shoulder rolls the other way. So again, on the inhale, this time we're going to send the shoulders back and up. And the exhale, bring them forward and down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Just keep moving with the breath, allowing the breath to guide the movements. And just doing 1 more round. And then just coming to rest, making the shoulders a drop down away from the ears. Maybe try and bring those shoulder blades in towards one another, down your back. With the inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up and overhead. On the exhale, we're going to float just the right hand all the way down onto that mat. Inhale to send the fingertips and then the left hand up towards the sky. And the exhale, we're going to bend over to our right side. Just opening up that left side of the body. Going into a nice stretch. With the next inhale, we're going to bring that left arm back to center. And exhale to float that all the way back down to the side. With the inhale, floating the right hand up and overhead. Really send the fingers up towards the sky. And on your next exhale, we're going to start bending over to that left side. Sending those right fingertips all the way to the wall on the left. With the next inhale, we're going to bring that right hand back up to center, and then exhale, float it all the way back down. We'll just do a bit more spine mobility before we get into our poses. So placing the hands down on the thighs, palms facing down. We're just going to move through our lazy cat and cow poses. So the inhale, we're going to send our tailbone back, lift the chest, the head and the neck. And then on the exhale, bring the chin in towards the chest, pulling that belly button in tight and tucking that tailbone under. So inhale, tailbone spins out, chest, neck, head open up. And then exhale, chin in towards the chest, belly button towards the spine, tuck that tailbone under. Just doing one more round with our breath. With your next inhale, just sitting that torso back upright. Whichever position you've been in, we're just going to make our way onto our bums now, towards the middle of the mat. I'm going to just stretch that right leg out in front and bring the sole of that left foot into the inside of the thigh. We're just going to do some gentle stretches, so we don't want to be throwing ourselves all the way over our legs. It is still part of the warm-up, so we're just going to do very gentle, very mindful stretches, working with our breath. So inhale, lengthen through that spine. And then exhale, we're just going to slowly lower over that front right leg. Taking a pause when we need to inhale. And then exhale, lowering down again, but we're not taking it too far, it's just still part of the warm-up. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, and exhale slightly further forward. When you're ready with the next inhale, we're just going to bring the torso all the way up, and we're going to swap the legs over. So bring the left leg out in front now, and bending at the right knee, bring the sole of that right foot onto the inside of that left thigh, making sure we adjust our sit bones so we're still sat up tall. Inhale to lengthen up through the crown. And exhale, we're going to start draping that body forward over that left leg. So when you need to take an inhale, stop and take a pause. And then exhale to start lowering down further. And just doing this, working with the breath, just till you get a nice gentle stretch. Don't want to cause ourselves any injuries. And then with the next inhale, just peeling the torso back up into a nice upright position. Sending both legs out in front of us. Then we're going to slowly bring them to a wider pose now. And only taking it as far as feels good. Your body will normally put in a natural limitation for you here. So just make sure that however wide you've taken it, you've still got both those sit bones firmly grounded into the floor. You're still able to sit nice and upright like you had a wall behind you. And then placing the hands on the legs, palms facing down. We're just going to do a forward fold in this pose, and making sure all our pretty 10 toes are pointed up towards the sky. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. And then exhale, we're going to start walking the hands out in front. So inhale to lengthen, and exhale to walk them forward. Then working with the breath, when we need to take the pause, we take our inhale, and exhale, we walk forward. So only taking this as far as feels good. You can always try bending the elbows slightly to see if that helps you hinge further at the hips. If this option isn't working for you, there's always the option of bringing the hands behind you, and we're going to send the fingers to the wall behind us. So we're like externally rotating those hands out ever so slightly. And again, working with the breath, you can just use your fingers to push the torso forward instead, hinging forward at the hips. So this is a nice alternative. You might want to play around and see which one works for you. But whichever version you pick, just remembering to breathe nicely and easily. And with the next inhale, bring the torso back up into an upright position. We can sweep those legs back in towards one another. We're going to bring them over to one side just so we can make our way up into our standing position. And always a nice opportunity to throw in a nice sun breath before we do another wide-legged child's pose. So setting up in our Tadasana, so heels behind the widest part of the feet, shoulders rolled back, palms facing forward. And just taking another moment's pause to imagine channeling the earth's energy up through the soles of our feet. Activating all the muscles en route. And leaving us through the crown of our head, feeling energized and rebalanced, grounded. And then with an inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Bring the fingertips or palms a touch at the top. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips, diving forward. Bring the hands down towards the mat or on the mat. Inhale, hands to shins, half forward fold. And exhale to release all the way back down. Inhale to sweep the arms round up and overhead. Fingertips and palms a touch at the top. And exhale, we're going to bring them down the midline of the body, pausing at that heart centre. I always used to like this as an opportunity to set ourselves an intention for the day ahead, for the week ahead, the month ahead. We're just going to set it now. And when you're ready, just floating those hands all the way back down. Shimmy out our feet. We're going to take our feet to about a leg's distance apart from one another. Still making sure that the outer edges of our feet are in line with the outer edges of the mat. So all 10 toes should be pointing forward. And with an inhale, we're going to stretch those arms up and overhead. Exhale, we're going to start hinging forward at the hips and bring the hands down that midline at the same time in that prayer pose. Bring the hands towards that heart centre. Taking an inhale as we pause. And as an exhale, slowly hinging forward at the hips. And when it feels comfortable for you, you may want to release those hands all the way down onto the mat. Or if you have a block, you can always bring your hands down onto the block, picking whichever height feels good. And just working with the breath. So on the inhale, imagine elongating the spine, and the exhale is when we hinge. And when you feel like you've got to a nice stretch, we're just going to pause there, making sure that we've got some of the weight in the balls of our feet to stop our hips going back. So you can just imagine that there's a wall behind you and you want the backs of your heels to be in line with the hips at the top. And then there is also the option of walking the hands in towards the midline of the body. That increases the stretch ever so slightly more, or even maybe bending in at those elbows. But this is your practice, it's your body. So taking any option which feels good. If an option doesn't feel good, coming out of it, picking a different option. And you can stay like this, or working with the breath. On the next inhale, we're going to walk our hands over to that right side. Just noticing how this increases or changes the stretch across the legs. Maybe across the shoulders. Still making sure that the head can hang heavy. Remembering to breathe. Then with the next inhale, walking those hands back to center, where we'll stop and take a breath. And on the exhale, walking the hands this time over to that left foot. Again, just observing any new sensations in the body. Then when you're ready, walking the hands back to center. We're going to do a nice little twist now. So we're only going to make it a mild version of a twist. I can show you the option for the more advanced ones. But if you have a block, you may want to use it here. You may not. Just having it there as an option is always good. We're just going to place that block directly underneath our face, bringing the right hand on top of the block or onto the floor directly below our face. Then with an inhale, we're going to twist that left hand and just place that on the lower part of the back. With an inhale, we imagine elongating that spine. And on the exhale, we're going to start twisting over to our left, ever so gently. Again, working with the breath, the inhale to lengthen, and the exhale to rotate. And the option is to stay here in this lovely twist, or if you feel like your right shoulder is over your left shoulder, so your left shoulder is over your right shoulder, you can release that left hand up towards the sky, sending those fingers to the ceiling, to maybe the stars or the sun beyond, depending what time of day it is where you are. You're keeping your gaze either neutral or sending your gaze up towards those fingers. Having one more inhale here, and on the exhale, we're going to slowly bring that left hand all the way back down, and it's going to take the place of that right hand below our face, either on the block or on the floor. With an inhale, we're going to sweep that right hand onto the lower part of the back. And we're going to go again, working with our breath. So the inhale, we lengthen. And the exhale, this time we're going to start rotating over to that right side. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale to rotate. And if you feel like that right shoulder is stacked over the left shoulder, you can release that right arm up to the sky. Or if not, just keep it on that lower part of the back and just try spinning the chest open along the axis of the spine. And your choice of gaze, either keeping it neutral or over towards that right shoulder and those fingers beyond if that hand is in the air. One more breath here. And on the exhale, we're going to float that right hand all the way back down to join the left hand on the mat or on the block. With the next inhale, bending those knees comfortably, we're going to bring those hands up and place them on our hips. Slowly engaging those abdominal muscles to help protect that lower back. We're just going to peel the torso back up into that upright position. Shimmying the feet in towards one another. And releasing the hands all the way back down. And we're going to finish off our practice today with our 4 soul intentions. So I'll make my way back to the front. So placing one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. We set our intention to have a joyful and energetic body. Placing the bottom hand onto the hand that's over our heart centre. We set our intention to have a loving and compassionate heart. Bringing the hands out in front, fingertips to touch, but the palms of the hands away from one another. And sending our focus to our third eye centre, we set our intention to have a clear, reflective and alert mind. Finally, bring the base of the hands to touch and opening just the 3 middle fingers, tuning into the energy field that surrounds ourselves. We set our final intention to have lightness in our being. Bring the hands to close in our prayer. Draw that prayer in towards the heart, remembering our intention that we set only a few minutes ago, watering that seed. And finally, wishing you all a wonderful day ahead. From my heart to yours. Namaste. And I'll hopefully see you tomorrow for day 19. Thank you.